What I'm talking about now, it absolutely works with everything else. I hope you can see me well. If I'm back here, good morning. Camera's a little off, but I am live on Facebook as well, coming at you a little bit later than usual. I actually decided to go out and take myself for a little walk. I went for a walk about 4 miles. It's in Las Vegas, so the weather right now is amazing, 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 amazing. Let's see. Am I live? Am I seeing myself? What's going on here? It looks like I'm live. Poor people on Facebook. They got to see me reaching over this thing and looking at it. Let me get this on here. Yes, I am live, my friends. Trying to come at you every Thursday between 9:30 and 10 o'clock to say, hello, what's up? And today we'll get to my title shortly. I want to get that question on Facebook. And you know what? The question of today is, what's pissing you off? And I know if you're like me, you're going to answer, well, what's not pissing me off? Isn't it everything? Do you got a laundry list, right? We'll get to that in just 1 minute. Hello, people. I'm live. Go ahead and tag me if you can. I'm going to get this sent out. I am here. Oh, seems like everything's working. Am I on the right camera? Oh, Zoom. Hello, the magic of everything. It is, oops. You know, you can do everything yourself, but should you do everything yourself? There I am. All right. I got it. I did it. You know what? And let's talk about that. It's triggers, right? It's triggers wherever you're at. I'm trying to find a new setup, trying to find new cameras, trying to get that lighting just right. You got to see my snacks here, right? Had a few nuts, a little bit of substance here to nourish me. It looks like this camera's off too. Hey, well, what I'm trying to do is get a better stand where I have my camera and the Instagram camera in the same space so I can be looking at all of you at the same time. So I can be talking at you, talking with you, teaching, sharing, getting some knowledge on, because I love to share. And I have decided that I love to share so much that I'm going to be doing it weekly. I will be back shortly on a podcast called Wisdom Speaks, so look for that. But right now, everything is working, right? I got it aligned. I'm trying to find a better setup for everything and be in the place that I need to be all at one time so I can get back to the masses, right? Get back to everybody that you need to get visual. And that's what we all do in our business. So let's talk about what's triggering you. Get my camera down here because it looks like it's a little bit on Facebook. It's blocking me and you want to see my gorgeous face here. That's my mic. No, I don't have it on. There's a lot of noise outside, so I'm trying to cancel some of that. I hope it doesn't interfere with you. But let's get moving on to the topic today. This delicious nugget of a topic today is what's pissing you off? And I know I hear you. You got a laundry list. It's the traffic. It's the kids. It's the heat. It's too cold. It's the weather. I'm stuck in my house. I can't find I can't get social media to put my background up for me. You try to hit the right button. You go to the background, you change your background, then you hit live in the background. The this beautiful background that I had disappeared. That's pissing me off, right? It's an anger moment. It's a trigger moment, right? You know, what is triggering you? What is getting you triggered? And how do you move from that trigger to the triumph. We're going to talk about that today. Let's talk about it because it's huge. It's a huge subject right now about a lot of us don't talk about what's pissing us off. And that's that bitch moment, right? You want to just have that, oh, you want to throw something across the room, or you want to yell at your kids for tracking mud in the house on the floor that you just mopped. Is it that traffic? You're behind the guy that keeps hitting his brakes, and then you go to pass him. You're like, okay, I'm frustrated. You're yelling at him. You're like, okay, this is getting crazy. So you go past that person. They don't even notice that you exist because they're busy chatting on their phone. Or they holding their phone up. I can't show you with my phone because I'm talking on my phone here as well as getting on my laptop. But they put the phone out and they're on the phone. Hey, why are you pissed off about it? Well, let me give you some reasons here. First of all, they don't know I exist. Secondly, I'm stuck behind them. We almost had an accident. And third, gosh, I don't know. Did I pay my insurance today? Now I got to go to that. Am I going to pay it on time? Do I need to pull over and start paying it before I get in this car wreck? I might bring you to a different state of awareness. The other thing is no, they're not in their awareness. They don't know you exist. They don't know about the traffic laws. They've got to talk to their sister Bertha about what's for dinner and that their husband didn't give them a kiss on the cheek before they left the house. Maybe he didn't kiss him on the cheek before they left the house because she ran and locked herself in the bathroom so she didn't have to say goodbye to him. That's a different issue from a different day. That's a different trigger. We'll talk about that. Bringing love back into the relationship. And it's hard to do when you're in a trigger moment and the person with you is triggered too. What else triggers you? Getting in line. Okay. There's what else triggered you? Trying to get onto Zoom during the 2020, even 2021. Everybody's on Zoom. I remember back in the day, not just dial up, but I remember back in the day when it was like maybe $50, $45, $30 to get online. And we were screaming about that. If you paid $100, that means that in $100 package, you got HBO. Anybody remember that channel? You had HBO. You could watch unlimited movies. You could call on your telephone. You had a home phone that maybe you never answered. And the voicemail is always filled up. If any of this hits you, if any of this is, hey, I'm pissed off about that too, that reminds me of that one time, hit me up. Say, hello, guys. Does that make sense to you? It's got to make sense to you. Let me know what makes sense to you. We have all been in that moment. Maybe you're in line and you're learning, okay, well, we were talking about Zoom. I digress a little bit. Hey, whatever. Maybe you're in that land of Zoom. What got you triggered to that point? Did you not set up your laptop? Are you running late from a business call? Did you not plan right? Did you set yourself up for failure and say, hey, I'm not going to be able to get on anyway, so I'll get there when I get there. Everybody's going to wait for me in the meeting because I'm not good, right? Maybe you need to rethink that. So, what is it that's pissing you off, right? Maybe, you had to learn to shop from home, go pick up food and from the supermarket, the Smiths down the street. That's what we have in Vegas. We have a Smiths. Did that trigger you? Are you triggered because now that you learned how to do all this stuff online, now you can go out shopping and everybody else has been released from their home lockdown too, because, everybody wants to get out. And in Vegas, luckily, we, for the most part of it, we could still move around, do work and things like that. There's more and more people out. Are you not used to people? How do you talk to people? Are you pissed off because you can't wear your Zoom attire and now you don't just have to put your top on? You got to put your pants and your shoes on. Is that pissing you off? Think about it. These little things just trigger us every day, and we get triggered constantly. And, then we get to that point where we're like, I'm pissed off. I'm angry. I'm upset. You know, just commenting here. Um, you know, I'm angry. I'm upset. These little things, for many, many years, I've always heard uh, the little things that don't mean anything. Don't worry about the little things. It's the giant stuff. Well, how do you think it gets to fester out of control? It's like allowing the dust to build up on your fan for the rest of the year after you turned your fan off. Okay, the summer's over in Las Vegas, and yet you turned off your fan, but you didn't clean it. You allowed it to build up, and boom, winter's gone by, fall's gone by, it's spring, it's summer again, it's getting hot. Now you turn it on, and the dust is going all over the place, right? You've allowed it to build off, but you're mad because I just cleaned the table or I just vacuumed the floor and it's flying out around everywhere. What did you allow to build up? What's the junk that you allowed to build up? What triggers you? It's in the state of awareness when you're triggered. As you get into that state of awareness, going from triggered to triumph, that you start to acknowledge what's around you, that you start to acknowledge what's feeding the monster inside you, what's coming out of your shadow. What is it? What is that thing that gets me to the point where I just explode? What is it that causes me to get to that point where I'm angry? I don't want to go outside, or everybody I see just sucks. Everybody I see's got a problem, that nobody can drive. Does anybody know how to shop anymore? Who let their kids come out in public, right? Those are the things that you're thinking in your mind. What's that monkey mind telling you? What's all this stuff? Like you get in a hyper state of awareness when you're pissed off, and all of a sudden you see everything as trouble. And you're in awareness of what everybody does, how they get out of the car, how they hit the brake, what their speed is when they're driving. Did they go through that red light? They're going to, they're going to crash into somebody. It's a good thing I paid my insurance, right? What are those things that you're saying in your mind that gets you triggered? What pisses you off? And I seriously want to know. Hit me up. Let me know. Give me a comment. If you're watching the replay, hit hashtag replay. If you're loving this green screen behind me, say, I love the green screen behind you. Let's find out what triggers you. You can always hit me up. You can message me. You can email me. I am available. We're all available. And maybe a little too much. And maybe that's what's triggering you. It's those triggers that bring out that nasty emotion that we can no longer control. It's those triggers that stop us from loving our other half, our boyfriend, our girlfriend, wife, husband, whatever it is nowadays. It's those triggers that stop us from receiving love because we close off. It's those triggers that don't allow us to be triumphant, that don't allow us to succeed. It's those triggers that we talked about that stop us from being happy, that stop us from having the ability to just relax and enjoy ourselves, give ourselves some good love. It's those triggers that piss us off, right? And who hasn't had that moment? But the important part is, when is that moment arising? When is it festering up? When is it coming through? When is it eating at us? And it does, it just gnaws at us all the time. How can we combat it? Well, I'm going to give you a few of those tips today. I always go back to self-leadership. When I'm sharing with clients, it's about the emotional intelligence of you. It's about addressing your true self. Our triggers are that deep, scary monster inside of us, our shadow, our true self. It's deeper than the inner child. It's the inner child that wants to play. It's the inner child that wants a hug. It's the inner child that feels that, hey, I, you know, I'd rather wear a pretty dress or have shiny things than talk about what's deep inside of me. It's that deeper context of the shadows and the fragmentation of us. We are all parts and pieces, wonderful, beautiful, eclectic parts and pieces of fragments. And each fragment is like a file. And each file has a part of our life that we've lived, how we reacted to things. What was the circumstance? What was our story? It's my story and I'm sticking to it. Are you stubborn and are you holding on to that story because that's so much part of you and you want to be the victim? Well, it's self leadership that brings us up with the emotional intelligence. It gives us the ability to influence ourselves, to make us, to influence us holistically. And when you're in that holistic cycle of mind, body, and soul, when you're in that beautiful, when you start in that beautiful cycle, the wonderful thing is it's all part and parcel. It all works together. It's cogs and widgets, well-oiled machines that work and function as one. In order to get to that, we have to understand those little parts and pieces and be your own mechanic and build check on the machine that was built for us. Can we make the machine better? Do we need new parts and pieces? Or do we need to just look inside and see what our engine is running? Is our engine running some old program? Maybe you've got like a 1980 Ford truck, right? And it's still sturdy, it's still strong, it's still built with this great steel. But you need to take care of it. You need to nurture it. You find some rust on the outside. Are you taking care of that rust and sanding it down, make sure that it's painted and covered so that it doesn't get rustier, so that the steel doesn't deteriorate, so there's not junk getting into it? What are you doing? So as you're the well-oiled machine and you want to find out what your triggers are, that doesn't mean for you to sit there. The beauty of self-leadership is it gets you from being in that victim state of, oh, I'm triggered. Oh, I can't go outside. Or I'm triggered. The guy at the grocery store said hello to me. Oh, I'm having a bad day. Don't talk to me. We all have those moments. And we need to recognize what triggers us. I've had those moments and I laugh about it. Why? Because I've been there. I've had that moment where I'm like, how dare you say hello to me? And then the next day I'll go into the same store and be like, why didn't the checker say hello to me? Nobody recognized me. Is it the people working in the store? Hello, hello. Or is it you? What is it truly? Hi, wonderful, beautiful being. Hello, hello. How are you? Oh my gosh. Love people. Hello. Say hello to me. Love to hear from you guys. We're in fabulous Las Vegas, but this social media goes all over the world, right? And it's hey Brandy, and it's such a beautiful thing to find out what is getting us. Is it the store? Well, if the store is that bad, then perhaps you should go shopping somewhere else or just go shopping online. And I learned to love that because you didn't have to go out. You didn't have to be around as an empath around other people. But the other trigger is when you're talking about your shadow side in that deep depth of you, and that shadow side is, why is it that somebody's not saying hi to you? Or why is it that you get mad about the way somebody says hi to you? What was really wrong? Were you thinking of something? Were you in a space where you were in a state of mind that you were thinking of something that gets you emotional? Or do you just get emotional going into the store because maybe you're empathic and you have feelings and emotions and you're starting to draw on other people's feelings? Or maybe when you're shopping, maybe you should be in a state of awareness of what you want to accomplish. What do you want to accomplish in the grocery store? I got a list. I want to get some nutritious food for myself and my family. I want to get out in the open and say hi to people and see real people that I can talk to and say hi to, or, have a conversation with a produce manager, or, you know, what is it? You want to be seen, you want to see people. So you're going to the store. What is it that you want to accomplish? And being in that state of awareness is understanding what you're going in for. You may have been triggered going into the store because you were triggered getting into your car because you forgot to fill your gas tank. Were you triggered getting in your car because you didn't pay the car insurance? Were you triggered getting in the car because you heard something that got you on the radio that you didn't agree with? Or you had to hear a commercial for the 100th time and that one station never plays the 80s rock music that you love. So why do you keep playing it? Were you triggered on the way of driving the path that you took, the road you took, the turns you took? Were you triggered at that? Were you triggered walking in the store because you forgot your list? So those are things we have to look at that get you to the point of getting pissed off, right? What pissed you off? And what truly, 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 as a coach, truly looking at is what gets you to that point? What deep down inside, what's that nitty-gritty stuff inside that's mixing up that just festers when you go out or talk to people? Is it your social skills? Is it your state of awareness? Are you pre are you predetermined? Murphy's Law. What can go wrong will go wrong. What state of mind are you in? Because your thoughts are always right. Are you going to have a good experience? You're right. Are you going to have a bad experience? You're right. So let's talk about that. There's 3 keys to emotional intelligence. It's the self-awareness. It's the awareness state, right? When you want to know what's pissing you off, it's being able to be aware. And I don't mean the heightened awareness where you're ready to jump out and be angry. It's to recognize and understand our moods, our emotions, what drives us, what got us there. And we just talked about that. What was the emotion? What was the mood going in the store? Maybe you need to give that task to a family member. Maybe you need to go online. How can you think outside the box? What's the one thing you can do to make it easier for you? What's the truth in it? Why is it that you get to that point? Let's start to recognize those whys. What gets you into that anger point? And then the second one is courage. What's courage is not the absence of fear. Rather, it's I get a little sidetracked looking at those comments and trying to get in there, lovely people. It's the ability to put that fear aside, to kick it to the curb and say, hey, I got to do what's necessary. So, do you have the courage to look past your box, maybe outside of your jar, open the lid on your jar and let yourself escape, right? And are you looking, you can't see the forest through the trees, right? Are you like, okay, what's all these trees doing here in this forest? I can't figure out my path, but that's the point. The third thing, and I can't say 3, there we go. The third thing is internal motivation. What motivates you? What's going to drive you? Is the task that you don't like something you have to do? If it's not, put it to a side, give it to somebody else. What can you do that motivates you? What task can you do in your life to get the job done, to get to the place you need to be? What's that one thing that can change you? What's the one thing that can change your destiny? It can change your perception. What's that one juicy tidbit, right? You know, you're it's sometimes we feel like our mind is in mental foreclosure, right? Uh, we just want to lock the door, bolt it tight, not allow any of the joy to come out in our life because we're afraid to experience that joy. We don't understand what it is. And we're looking for partners in pain. Truth of the matter, to go from trigger to triumph is you've got to also understand what's your environment like. Are you in pain? Hurt people. And are you collecting groups of people in your tribe that are in pain and in victim mode too? Because if they're in that victim mode too, what's going to happen? They're going to want to gossip with you. They're going to want to push triggers on people. They're going to be like, yeah, I remember that time I was pissed off. Remember? Yeah. And I really, gave that checker at the grocery store or what for and told him how I really felt. Was that necessary? Did that person hurt you? Or were you just at a moment where you felt you had to yell at somebody or you had to let it out somewhere? There's other places to do it. Sometimes when you're pissed off, remember, you're a passionate being, you're a human, you're in a meat suit, you're having a human experience, right? You are meant to be here and feel and think and get the juicy riches of the passion and the purpose and the drive and the joy and the sorrow. You're meant to be pissed off. You're meant to be angry, but you're not meant to be in that every day. And trust me, I know because I've been there. And this is how I know. And what helped me was defining when I was in a state of awareness, defining when I was triggered, defining how to get my personal motivation. What motivated me? What do I love? What drove me? What made me happy? What excited me? Defining that, right? What was the courage it took to put the fear aside? And I'd rather jump off a cliff into the ocean than to have to face those uh you know that shadow. How can I do that? And that's going from trigger to triumph. So if this makes any sense and this is something that you want to learn more about, just hit me up. You got questions, I'd love to know. What is does a content trigger you? Does it get you pissed off? Or are you saying, yeah, I get this, lady. I understand you're speaking my language. Let me know how you feel. Let me know what's up. Contact me. My links are in the bio. Private message me. I'm always available. And hey, I'm here. I'll be coming at you next Thursday, and hopefully I'll be back tomorrow morning. If there's a great time that you want to watch something, you want to be part of that, you want to be part of that group and that tribe that's building up, come on, join in, like, subscribe, join the tribe. I'm on YouTube, on Facebook. Love to be your friend. Love to get to know about you. So hit me up.